applicable. Home. Home is where your heart is, so we'll do home. All right, so your buzzword is home. So I'm gonna give you a little clue, and every answer is gonna have home in it somewhere. And you just say it out loud as soon as you know it. Everybody, you don't have to buzz or anything like that, all right? All right, run back here for safety during gameplay.
Home base.
Yep. Hit the ball far, run all around. Disney flick about two pups and a cat trying to.
Homeward
Yeah. Didn't even finish. Bob Saget. Is it? What is it? S-A-G-E-T.
Bob Saget.
Bob Saget.
Saget
That show?
started it.
America's Funniest.
Yeah.
America's Funniest Home Videos. Good job. Cozy, comforting, and inviting, like where you live.
Home.
Homie?
Homey. Good. That's awesome. Okay. She makes her job to take care of the house. Yeah. You learn in the same building you live.
Homeschool.
Yeah. Veggies straight from your backyard. Yep. Taylor Swift sings "You Should Have Said No."
It's not a Pink song, I don't get it.
Taylor Swift sings "You Should Have Said No."
Should've gone home.
Yes, that's it. That was awesome. And she's embarrassed she knew it. All right. I'm just kidding. Ty Pennington and his crew upgrade houses.
Oh, yeah.
Extreme Home.
Yeah. Very good. All right, last one. This is a little bit harder. The red side is harder than the blue. So your word is carry. Carry. Like you're carrying something, like you're carrying the weight of someone's burden. Probably not that deep. All right, so here we go. All right, so restaurant food brought home.
Carry out.
Yeah, the turkey is still roasting after you take it out.
Cooking?
Carryover?
Yeah.
Carryover, really?
What does that even mean?
I don't know what that means.
What? Has anybody heard of that? Carryover
Yeah,
cooking.
because it's the temperature,
Carryover cooking.
whatever.
Okay. So I guess people who cook a lot know that. Sing on key.
Carry a tune.
Yes. Keep a romantic flame for somebody.
Carry a torch.
Move forward after tragedy.
Carry on.
Carry on. Pay money and take the goods.
Carry, oh no.
Cash and carry?
Yes.
Carry, yeah.
Carry.
Aw, just wanted to say something, didn't you? Feel like you're participating. I love it.
She's on a roll.
That's what I have to do at work, 'cause all my peers are like flying through the answers. There's like 4 of you answering all these, just FYI. No, I'm just kidding. All right, pay money and take the goods. Yeah, Atlas was strong enough to do it.
Carry on shoulders.
Carry what?
Carry the world on your shoulders.
The weight of the world.
The weight of the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, lead the discussion. Carry the conversation. Yeah.
Look at you.
Walk, talk, and
Carry on.
no. This is probably good that y'all don't know this.
Carry something.
Carry a big stick. Yeah.
I always thought it was
Walk
neat.
softly to carry a big stick.
Walk softly.
Yeah, it just says walk tall and carry a big stick. I guess that's just the writers. Do you share of the labor?
Carry a load. Carry the bird.
Carry your weight. Very good. Ding ding. Okay, we'll get started. That's just fun. That has nothing to do with the talk. All right. I just play buzzword. I have to do that throughout the day. I make everybody take a break in my building, and when I go in the office, it's like buzzword time. Yay! You're taking a break from our notes. All right. So here we go. West End Co-op. So this is just to let you know a little bit about where I work and the. It's a really cool, kind of messy place. We divided it into 3 different parts. Yeah, the lights would help. Thanks. So, real-world application of occupational-based practice for clients with acquired brain injury, and that's just a really cool way to say it. It's a fun place to make stuff. So it is a kept secret. A lot of people don't know about us. We're part of the Greenville Health System. Even the 20,000+ employees now don't. Everybody in our hospital system doesn't know about us. Because I'm a manager at the hospital system, I do go to our LDR meetings, which, is, I guess, 3,000 managers are there, maybe 2,400 managers, I think it's a little less than 3. And we do sell our goods there, cause all the managers, I'm not one of them, but, the managers and high up go to these meetings, and they probably make, more money than the average, therapist, so that's where we sell all our jewelry that we make, which is really cool. But I sold $3,600 worth just going to that conference in Chicago. So, we'll go out on we'll have a tent, downtown Greenville at the, Artisphere or the, Art in the Park, I think was the name of it. So different little, different ways to get the people out in the community and educate them. It's really, really fun. So I'm not gonna leave it there. If you read the quote, that's good. I'm not gonna read it. So just kind of an overview of what we're gonna be doing. I've mentioned that earlier. We're just gonna do intro, background, rationale, some of the outcomes for the co-op, the manual that I wrote for during the doctoral program, and then just some of the programs and components, examples. So this is kind of it started out with just work worth doing, that one in the middle, and when I came on board and they were doing promotional items and sewing wheelchair bags, baking cookies. And so I just brought in the silver lining jewelry, so we'd have we have downtown now, we moved buildings, and so I just went and asked the marketing, the powers that be, me and my boss went and said, hey, can you give us $60,000? That's what's gonna take to knock out this front wall so I can make it storefront property. And they said, oh, that sounds good. So they gave it to me and we built a storefront property. So people come in off the street, downtown Greenville, and walk right in and buy from our shop. And patients are in there working, making jewelry or doing art projects or wood projects. And so everybody in the co-op during the day is a patient, a volunteer, or a staff, but everybody has had an acquired brain injury that's in the co-op that's working, except for the therapists that are bringing in, and even some of them, might have, like concussion or, different, some of them even have had like a mild TBI at some point down the line. So OTs, PTs, and speech therapists, psychologists all use this space and place, so it's a real world shop that you can do a lot of different things in. So it's we do art projects and we do wood projects and we bake cookies and we're doing promotional items. The cool thing about it is that we can tailor the task to the individual needs of the person. So somebody with a head injury. So this is kind of the model that we've started out with, treatment embedded into a business, or business embedded into treatment. And just look down at the bottom where it says there's an innate human drive to explore and master the environment, and this drive can be best understood as motivation toward competence. So Weston Co-op actually challenges people with a brain injury to strive for mastery. So we're actually, every single project we do with a patient, we want them to be able to do it. We want them to be able to watch us do it, then do one, and then we want them to be able to teach one. And so that's what you're gonna learn even as a therapist. You're gonna be able to watch somebody do what you're supposed to do, then you're gonna be able to do it yourself, and then you need to master it. You need to be able to teach somebody to do whatever you learn. Because that's how you're gonna become a good therapist. So we have that same philosophy, all our patients. So this is just really describes the Weston Co-op better than any other thing I can analogize it with. And Sheldon, my boss, came up with this. He said, it's a Swiss Army knife. And I said, I think I know which one. And so I went and found the picture, and I was like, it really is. We morph into whatever the patient needs. So yeah, in order to meet the needs of the individual with TBI, the Weston Co-op has structure but flexibility, much akin to a Swiss Army knife. And that was I said, I'm gonna put that in the slide. That was a good quote. He just kind of summed it up. And literally, I just wrote a huge case for support and went to marketing again and named like 10 different things that I just said I want to add to the Swiss Army knife. And so I wrote up a huge report so that they can go out and get me some more money so that I can add a module outside for my engines, and I don't have to bring them in, my small engines for my guys working on that. And I'd like to take the woodworking outside, so that module outside, and my pottery area needs more. I need more money for that. I've got a kiln and everything, but we need to revamp that whole section. So you have to have numbers showing that this kind of therapy works to get somebody to give you money. So I love doing the research behind it and the literature behind it. So ABI includes TBI, CBA, tumors, just anything that causes an injury to the head. ABI is an acquired brain injury. So you can, there's 1.4 million cases of traumatic brain injury annually in the United States. And so the big things it affects is the quality of life. You're socially isolated, and long-term disability. Loss of employment is huge. So what I've done is we have 2 tracks. You can use the West End Co-op for cognitive rehabilitation. So the therapists are coming in there and they're using it for problem solving and reasoning and attention to detail and all the different things that the patient's goals are. They've done a neuropsych test in our building, which is an 8-hour test that is better than like I do an eval as an OT, and it's like a snapshot of the brain and the different areas, and I'm hitting on all these little things. Well, a neuropsych is kind of like a little video footage of the brain. It's a lot more information and gives us more specifics on what part of the brain we really need to work on. And so with my study, and this is the literature, and there's a lot more literature, and I'm not going to bore you with all of it, but the literature and research is showing us real-world activities will help remap an injured brain faster than anything else. So it's good to have our tabletop tasks and things that we do, but I took 100 people and had them make bracelets. I didn't make them. I just picked the 100 people that would work with jewelry to do fine motor skills. So they're doing fine motor skills. They're making this is a spool of sterling, right, on my wrist. It starts out as a spool, and they're making coils and cutting the coils into individual loops and putting them together in a specific pattern. That's the Byzantine pattern. It's crazy old. It's on King Tut's tomb. That design is. It's during the Byzantine period, Middle Mediterranean area. And so literally they are doing some real detailed fine motor stuff. And this hand's not working because they have an injury on this side of their head. So the left hand's not working good. So I've got 100 patients that are struggling with fine motor skills, and they're making bracelets and they're taking it home. And then on the traditional side of the wall, on the other side of that wall, traditional OT is working with 100 patients, and I'm collecting their numbers. And they're doing the traditional OT. They're doing the groove peg test. They're doing pennies in the these are all good things. So I'll show you a video coming up in just a second. So it's purposeful. It's important to do those things. It's just these 100 patients that made the bracelets could stay with it longer, and that's why they had a significant difference. Is because literally they could just stay with it longer. They took it home. They want to do it for homework. So of course it's no pun intended. It's a no-brainer. Do the bracelet if you want to do the bracelet. So vocational rehab is the other component. So I just talked about cognitive rehabilitation. So vocational rehab is another program development that I've just done. So I'm collecting numbers on our patients we have phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 patients now. So I'm doing all phase 3 patients and pulling them all together. These are all people that are just going back to work. So they have a cognitive deficit, but all their goals are related to going back to work. So I did a huge study in school about just, we have vocational rehab here, and we have about the same amount of people as they do in the UK that are using those services. It's about 5%. 5% of the people that could, with a TBI that's specific, is using our VOC services, which stinks. About 4 or 5% here, and about 4 or 5% in the UK. But they have a huge results. They're having 40% people back to work, and we have about 25% people back to work. And so I started studying, what are they doing? What are they doing different than us? Why are all their people getting back to work? Why are their numbers better than us? And the biggest significant difference, instead of reading all that, I'm just telling you, the biggest difference, literally, was they had job coaches going into, they were doing the real thing. They weren't doing simulated stuff. That was the biggest difference in our VOC rehabs. So I did an internship at our VOC rehab, and it was all simulated. So they had pipes, but they weren't the pipes that were actually underneath the sink. So like at my shop, I have the sink. You got to put the real pipe on there. We turn the water on. If it goes everywhere, it didn't work. We go ahead and let the failure happen. We want to make sure that they can do it if they're a plumber. So they had a lot of simulated stuff, and just looking at ours across the board, and not knocking it, but I'm on the board there now, and started a whole committee of all the like people from Haskell and people at Voc Rehabs, half the people, so I started an interest group, so we meet quarterly and talk about how can we, fill the gap, how can we do, Voc